thing. Good morning, guys. It is Wednesday, April 28th, and we are here with Breakfast with the Boys. I'm Chris Mancuso, Jack Gotzel, Guacamole JJ, Guacamole in the house, the man. What's going on, fellas? How are we? After a pretty crazy fun live stream last week, we're back for a regular episode today. How's everybody feeling?
Pretty good.
Yeah, feeling great. That live stream was a blast. I really want to do that again in the future.
Yeah, we should make them monthly, man, where we hop and do it live because it actually got a lot of good views and a lot of good traction. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Enjoyed talking the conspiracy stuff. Venti was very composed. Can we talk about the composure of Venti?
The professionalism. Professionalism.
Jack made it seem like he was going to come in and just like
Whoa.
let it rip and he was maybe going to give it to me. I thought maybe this guy was going to like flip out for any pushback, but he was just so professional. You would have thought he was hosting a talk show.
Me and Jay both did not expect that performance from Venti.
Nope, I totally expected that out of Vent. That's Jack. Jack doing Jack.
You expected that, Jay?
Out of here.
No, I didn't expect that at all. I love Venti, but I didn't expect that at all. But I did love seeing him get rattled on Dogecoin. Quick shout out. Peep the shirt.
Yeah, let's go, baby. Did you see that meme I posted the other day where it's like, so my daughter tells me you invest. It's like, I bought Dogecoin at 4 cents. The dad just goes, don't pull out tonight.
That's
legitimately.
How are you doing with all your other cryptos?
Safe Moon is down. Still just going to hold that long term and see what happens. I think that might have been a ripoff, but we'll see. Dogecoin still holding strong.
Yep.
Holding some Binance coin, actually. I started holding it when I was doing my transfers to my other wallet, and it's actually just been making me money. So, like, I know a lot of people use Binance to then transfer out, but it can take time in that. So I feel like their coin's always going to be kind of a good little way to monitor for a few days, make a few bucks, man. But how's everything going on your end? You still holding till you die, or did you sell some off for some profits?
I'm holding till I die. Like I said, I sold my original investment early on, so everything at this point is free money. So worst comes to worst, if it drops down again to 10 cents, I still made a couple $100. So I'm in it for everything. I'm in it for the memes. I'm in it for the Doge army.
Me too, man.
I'm in it just for anything that happens. And obviously you get fire merch like this shirt that comes out randomly. Shout out to Buddha Ben for creating this, an original piece.
Such a sick piece, man. Buddha Ben is a great artist. I've seen his stuff on the internet before. It's wicked to see. That shirt is so fire. But Dogecoin, I saw Mark Cuban talking about it today, talking about it on the Ellen DeGeneres show. You know, you never know what can happen, man. The internet's a strange place. How many coins do you got? And then we'll switch into our regular episode here. I can see Jack just dying inside. Me and Jay get together. It's just all crypto talk.
Yeah.
It just has to start with crypto.
Yeah, before we get to the next one, I'm currently holding 8,000 Doge coins. I sold a little bit actually to buy this specific shirt because I had to make it come full circle, but 8,000 here.
That's awesome. I got 4,000 Dogecoins. So I mean, I'm not in as deep as you. I got in a little late. I was a little late to the party. I wanted to get in, but it's just the whole process of getting set up on a wallet in Canada. It's garbage. Speaking of garbage, we're getting right into this episode. LeBron James has been back in the news recently. Everybody knows what happened now with Micaiah Bryant, young kid. She was wielding a knife trying to stab two people like Michael Myers, and for once on camera a cop gets caught doing a good job. And LeBron James tried to jump the gun and be outraged first instead of being right. And it was, he tweeted out a picture of that police officer who now has actually just said, I want to have a one-on-one with LeBron James and just talk to him about everything.
Oh, he should sue the shit out of LeBron James.
Absolutely, I mean, bro.
This guy really risked his life to save somebody. And I mean, like, let's be honest. Let's call it what it is. It was a black-on-black crime. And it's like, so you don't want a police officer to save a black life? I thought Black Lives Matter. Does her life not matter because it was in danger from another black person?
Well,
it's ridiculous. LeBron James should be ashamed of himself. He's an absolute disgrace. He's always been a disgrace. I mean, he picks and chooses his battles. And this time he chose the wrong battle. He's an asshole. Fuck LeBron James. That's all I have to say.
Spoken like a true Bostonian. Holy shit.
Yeah, like a true guy from Boston. Listen, Jack, you're right. It's like, I like that he's about Black Lives Matter. I agree that there's problems. And it's like, I get that you want to be on the right side of things and you want to call it out, but you have to be right. You're LeBron James. You have 50 million friggin' people that follow your every word. You're one of the greatest basketball players that ever lived. He's one of the biggest media personalities. He's one of the biggest personalities walking on this planet right now. And with that comes a responsibility, and he fucked that up very badly. Acting like and then just like he deleted the tweet, and his explanation was like basically still called it bad. It was just really dumb. But
Which
to put a target
disgusting.
on a back after what you guys saw happen in the summertime, you know, cops got killed after that George Floyd thing. Like, cops that had nothing to do with that, man. And then you tweet out a picture of that guy. Like, you've put a fucking target on that guy's back. Like, if I'm him, I wouldn't even want to go back to work. It could really mess up his life. And the fact that he's choosing to try to hash it out, you know, properly or whatever you would call it, professionally with LeBron, like, nah, buddy, I'd be calling one of those lawyers off of your American TV shows. You know, when you're watching Jerry Springer and it's just commercial after commercial of lawyers, one of those guys, don't pay unless we win. He'd be getting sued to fuck because that was bullshit.
Yeah, but it couldn't just like mess up his life. It could end his life. And that's what LeBron really did. Like, he's a disgusting, vile human being for putting that out there. I mean, that could end that guy's life. Like, fuck LeBron James. Like, he's trying to be the social justice warrior, but he's complete the opposite. He is the villain. He's a horrible person, and he's an idiot. And it's not pure to his hatred for the world or anything. It's because he's just a stupid human being that he's such a horrible person.
Remember, that's part owner of our hometown baseball team, the Boston Red Sox you're talking about.
I ripped a Boston Red Sox jersey in half already on a stream here.
He did.
As soon as LeBron James bought the team, I'm done. LeBron James is a vile, despicable, disgusting human being. I have nothing to do with him.
Speaking of social justice, Caitlyn Jenner, you know, she represents the trans community, and I think she does a good job. She's an outspoken Republican as well. So she, she's on the acceptance side with the trans stuff, but still free to be her own person, is actually running for governor of California against Gavin Newsom at the advice of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Caitlyn Jenner, you know, quite the career, you know, has the Kardashian family and that. Newsom, worst lockdown plan in America, very reminiscent to what Canada has done here. If we're being honest. I mean, I don't know. Do you think Caitlyn Jenner might be able to pull this off? I mean, there's no worse governor than Newsom, is there?
No, I think she will. First off, I want to say, what a fucking world that we live in, where growing up, I always thought it was a joke that Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor of California, and then he actually was the governor of California.
The governor.
The governor. Now we have Caitlyn Jenner running. We have Elon Musk potentially running for president, you know, or rumors. Kanye West potentially running for president. Obviously, we had Donald Trump 10 years ago. You probably never would have thought that would have happened.
No, The Rock. There's a lot of people that could. Do you think it's just going to become a popularity contest now? All these political positions?
That's what I feel like. I really think it's going to be a popularity thing. But if Caitlyn Jenner can go in, you're right. No one can do worse than the current governor of California.
Yeah.
Everything just fucking locked down. What are you going to say, Jack?
Well, you know what's wrong with Caitlyn Jenner, according to O.J. Simpson, you know, the voice of reason, O.J. Simpson. He doesn't like that Caitlyn Jenner was playing from the ladies' tee of the country club. What do we think about that, boys?
He didn't like that? Juice didn't like that? I mean...
He was mad. He was mad that Caitlyn Jenner was playing from the ladies' team. He thought it was unfair.
Yo, I've played from the ladies' tees. I'm shit. Like, fuck you, Juice. That's what I'm with Caitlyn on this one. Yeah, you know what, man? All these people get like, the underlying issue is they don't like that she's trans, right? Like call it what it is. Why would anyone care what tee Caitlyn Jenner hits off of? I couldn't even imagine putting that in.
But OJ played with high school girls that were playing from the same tee as him, which I thought was the worst defense of all time. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, dude, OJ Simpson,
worst defense of all time. Yeah,
OJ Simpson jumped into the LeBron stuff too, and was putting his nose into that. But Jay, you brought up Elon Musk, and I saw on May 8th. Speaking of Dogecoin, I've heard that there's going to be like some sort of like skit where they're on Mars, and he's going to pay for something in Dogecoin. So look for a spike in the coin when that happens. But he's hosting, but apparently some of the cast and a couple of producers have put out tweets, and they're upset about Elon Musk for those very issues. He's been very vocal about being anti-pronouns. I think he put out a tweet once that just said pronouns are stupid. So they're like kind of outraged that he's going to be there. I don't think Lorne Michael gives one fuck what they think. Elon Musk is going to draw views, and that's what they're in the market for. Yep. Is views. I think it's going to be a great success. Elon Musk. I mean, whether you like Elon Musk or hate Elon Musk, he's definitely one of the most polarizing figures on the planet right now, I think.
Fact. I mean, what are they mad that he's too rich to be on the show? Are they mad that he won't be funny? Because he secretly will be funny. But it's like newsflash, SNL hasn't been that funny lately. So it sucked. What is it? 2 negatives make a positive. So maybe if Elon isn't funny and SNL isn't funny, that'll actually make it fucking hilarious.
Maybe. I think he'll do a good job. I like Elon. He's funny.
Yeah. He's the meme king. Elon is the sole reason that I bought Dogecoin.
Yeah, man, and it's done every time he seems to bring it up. It seems to go well.
Yep.
So
I hope that skit happens.
I have to agree with Guac J here completely, 100%. Bang.
Boom. A lot of agreements tonight. A lot of agreements. Speaking of ratings, guys, the Oscars went down last week. At one point, it was watched globally by like 50 million people. The Oscars. It's where they give out the awards for the best movies, Jack. I know people don't watch movies anymore. That's the point we're making here. Their ratings were down below like back in the height of it a few years ago, 50 million. This year, under 10 million.
Who were the 40 million people that watch the Oscars that don't anymore? Like, why watch that? Like, who's watching that bullshit anyway?
Well,
like, did they finally wake up?
It became a political circus, and I think people are just.
Well, it's been a political circus for years.
Yeah, man. It's just a lecture.
Why did it take this 40 million people to finally come to their senses and realize that's bullshit?
You know what? It took Ricky Gervais putting them all in their place that 1 year for people to really wake up to what was happening. I think, it was last year. I think it was, and he just basically told all of them, when you go up there to win your award, shut the fuck up, accept your award, thank your God, and get the fuck off. Nobody wants to hear about your politics. You don't relate to common people. It was just
love
perfect.
Matt Damon, but his spiel on politics and like the climate is like, come on, Matt Damon, like make movies. We don't care.
Yeah, it's just like, man, I don't want to talk about that stuff with my neighbor. Just because you make movies, I get that you have a big platform and stuff, but it's like, come on, man. Like, for some people, sports and movies are an escape from that stuff. Like, we don't want to hear about that stuff. I just want to watch 2 men fight in an octagon, or 5 guys on one side of the ice and 5 guys on the other side of the ice battle it out and try to put one past the goalie and fight and hit. Like, sometimes I just want to watch that without all the added.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck about your politics.
And dude, the NBA saw ratings go down. The NFL saw ratings go down. I think you're going to see the NHL's ratings start to go down. I mean, the NHL, Jack, was removing videos because people were like, oh, they were showing videos of guys getting hurt blocking shots, and they were glorifying their injuries. And the NHL folds at these people at every turn. The Bruins did a towel deal with Barstool. Marissa and Jemmy complained. The Bruins never worked with Barstool again. Just like that, this nobody always basically unemployed writer bouncing from place to place, freelance writer, made them get rid of a partnership with one of the biggest media conglomerates in sports. Like, it's just madness, dude. It's fucking madness. And I think people are just sick and tired.
Yeah, and honestly, it's
lectured.
people like her that are going to kill hockey. Like the political people that write more politics than they do hockey. Like her, Jimmy Murphy, Joe Haggerty these days. Like, they all want to write about politics.
Yeah,
they don't write about hockey, and that's
all those annoying fucking guys. Yeah,
and they're the ones that are going to kill hockey.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's just not as fun from a media standpoint anymore. You can't say anything without people getting butt hurt. And it's sad. Speaking of sad, guys, normally we get this out of the way off the hop, but we got talking about Doge, and then I got into the LeBron stuff. DMX was laid to rest this week in only the greatest way possible because he's DMX. He had his casket brought in a goddamn monster truck surrounded by the Rough Riders on the fucking motorcycles. So cool. It was magic, actually. I'm going to pull it up here. I got it. Long live DMX on the side of the truck. 50 years old, man, laid to rest. One of the greats, a pioneer for rap. He'll be missed. Also, unfortunate news came out of the NBA. Poor Scottie Pippen, man. He lost his son, Antron Pippen, at like 33 years old or something like that. Very, very sad stuff there. So obviously, you know, you just wish the family all the best there. You know, you never want to have that happen when it's your kid, man. That's fucking sad.
Yeah, I saw that with Pippen. He had some very good emotional words. Like, you know, He always thought his kid would make the NBA. He thought he could, was taken too soon, was a good kid. It's so sad to see stuff like that happen, especially to a legend like Scottie Pippen. But like, yeah, man. You know, it brings it back home. Like that, like life is precious, life is short. Like, take every day how you can. Tough to see though.
Yeah, man, tough to see someone go through that in like the public eye and kind of see an insight to what it's like to lose someone important like that. You just wouldn't wish that on anybody, man. Speaking of bad situations, Ronnie from Jersey Shore got a new girlfriend. Not even Jen, the one, not Sam, not Jen. He's had a new girlfriend, arrested again for domestic violence. This guy's just a woman-beating scumbag, already on probation. He's going away for a long time here.
Guy's never going to find love. I mean, every single time. And you saw it in the shows. I mean, between the Sam shit that happened, and then later on when they did the Jersey Shore, coming back when they were a little bit older, and what he was doing when he had a pregnant girlfriend at home. And now obviously he's just like you said, he's a beating scumbag.
Yeah, man. It's crazy to see.
No respect. And he looks stupid with his teeth.
Yeah.
Do we have to bring back Bully Beatdown? Do we have to get Jake Shields out to teach Ronnie a lesson?
I think so, man. Someone needs to teach that guy a lesson. Like, at what point is it like, dude, you're just a woman beating scumbag? Like, I think he's at that point now. You know, one time something happens, cops get called, you're in an argument. You can say, okay, maybe just they had whatever big disagreement, but you know, 4 or 5 times, man, like it sounds like you're a fucking scumbag. So I think he's gonna end up going away. Wouldn't be the first guy in Jersey Shore to go away. Mike the situation. Apparently they're making a new Jersey Shore too, so we'll see if any of this makes its way inside of it. You know, there'll be a lot of juiced up Guidos on there no matter what. Speaking of juiced up, we had some big drama go down in the world of dog racing. That's right. We had a dog suspended for a failed drug test because the owner gave the dog meth.
The fuck?
The dog's name is Zipping Sarah, and the dog was actually,
of course, Zipping Sarah's on meth. Zipping Sarah?
Yes, dude. And the dog was actually suspended for 4 months from competition. 4 months. That's less than friggin' Nate Diaz got for weed.
That's less than TJ Dillashaw got for EPOs.
Yeah, bro. That's less than he got for roids. Like, what?
I wonder how he gave it to the dog. Crushed it up.
What kind of human being do you gotta be to give your dog meth? Like,
okay,
what
well,
kind
if
of
you
world
the meth
is
with the
dog?
dog, like, you know, and he took a puff, the dog took a puff. I find it a little more okay, but any other way, yeah, that's fucked up.
What the fuck?
Jesus Christ. Speaking of fucked up, did you guys see Chris Weidman's brutal leg injury during UFC 261 at the weekend? He threw a kick at Uriah Hall and his leg absolutely snapped. It was horrendous. Jay, did you see that?
Holy shit, did I see it? I think I looked away when it happened, and the moment I looked back, he went to step on his fucking foot again, and the thing just caved in. I had flashbacks of the Celtics when Gordon Hayward got his injury. Obviously, his ankle got snapped up and went backwards.
Oh,
but
that was against the Raptors, yeah.
So gross, and then they just kept fucking replaying it, and I'm like, oh, I had enough of this.
Yeah, man. No.
Well, obviously, I've been on the record saying that my favorite two MMA fighters ever are Chris Weidman and Chris Weidman. It was super tough to see. And already, like, if you're a Weidman fan, you're like, all right, he either wins or he retires. Like, that was going to be his last fight, most likely, if he lost. And then to see him lose like that in like such an injury, it makes it so much tougher. It's like you want to see him go out on his shield if he's going to go out, not go out like that. Like,
horrible. And he must have had injury before, because that was like that's the spot you want to hit with a kick. I think he must have had some compound fractures or whatever, which can go undetected, you know, can just be like, oh, I'm a little sore legs, right? They're just little fractures that can lead to just a massive break like that. And I think that's probably what happened. You know, that sport, you know, all the time you're just hitting those leg kicks, you know, eventually you're going to break down your weapon, right? You keep striking with it, just like anything.
I always thought that watching too. I always wondered like when that would happen or if it could ever happen. And
it does.
First time I've seen it live, at least.
Happened to Anderson Silva on Chris Weidman's leg.
I thought,
and then Chris Weidman has it happen to him. If you're Uriah Hall, you got to be fucking terrified right now. You're never throwing a leg kick again. No. How do you throw a leg kick again after that? I would be like, fuck that. I'm not throwing one. I'd go box Jake Paul. Speaking of Jake Paul, he was at UFC 261.
Big old boo.
Him and Daniel Cormier went face to face, which was funny to see. Daniel Cormier wasn't happy with the comments Jake Paul made on his brother's podcast, Impulsive. He said that he would knock out Daniel Cormier and called him a fat bitch or something like that. So he took exception to that. I guess he went over, told him like, this ain't a game, I'll fuck you up. So Cormier says he'll fight Jake Paul, but he's not going to box Jake Paul. If Jake Paul wants to fight him and he wants it, he can come fight him in the cage, because he said that Jake Paul has just been using his skills to beat up people he knows he's going to beat. So he just wants to smash his face in, elbow.
Okay, but Daniel Cormier, you're not one of those people. If you got into a boxing ring with Jake Paul, you can't tell me one punch doesn't turn his lights out. Like, is Daniel Cormier scared here? Like, what the fuck is the issue that he won't take him in a boxing match? Like,
it's because he doesn't even think.
Daniel would dominate him in an MMA match. No one's questioning that. But Daniel would still beat him in a boxing match, and this kid thinks he's a boxer. So you're not a boxer. Would you shut this kid the fuck up and knock him out? Come on, DC. That's my opinion.
I kind of like Jake Paul. I'm not going to lie. I think he is a great villain. And everyone, everywhere, somewhere needs a villain, and he plays the role perfectly. He's getting views. Obviously, we're talking about it right now. You know, I think I like him. I want
DC to shut him the fuck up and knock him out.
And I'm going to tell you guys one thing. In the battle between the MMA world and Jake Paul's winning right now. People are doing exactly what they want him to do. Jack, everything we go on, Jake Paul gets brought up, and dude, it's resonating into the MMA community as well. Like, we have the Jake Shields podcast coming right here on Tarps Off Sports, so hit the subscribe button. we have him coming. He's a real motherfucking MMA guy. And he's even talked about Jake Paul with me a few times. Like the guy's just generating that buzz, and that's what he
so
does.
DC can be the man and step up and beat him.
He doesn't think he's ever done anything to
deserve.
He doesn't even think he deserves to fight him. He just said
someone's got to put his lights out, and I don't want to see it. Dylan Dennis ain't gonna do it. It's got to be. This is my final list. It's got to be Nate Diaz, Chris Weidman, or Daniel Cormier. Those are the only three people I want to see box Jake Paul, and all of them would dust him in one round.
Kamaru Usman says he'll do it, and Jake Paul said he accepts the challenge.
Yeah, well, the only reason Usman's doing it is to get out of fighting Covington. So that's a fucking soy boy move right there. Because the only reason Usman wants to fight Jake Paul is so he doesn't have to fight Covington. Just be a man and fight Covington. Like, I don't want to see a fighter run away from a fight by fighting Jake Paul. I want to see one of these guys that have retired and can show this guy some class.
How do you?
I want them to fight Jake Paul, not Usman, who's running away from Covington.
If Nate
that's all that is. You just don't want to fight Covington, Usman.
If Nate doesn't beat Leon Edwards at the next pay-per-view, I mean, he said it before. He said, "I'll knock Nate Diaz out." Nate Diaz could teach that kid that lesson.
I agreed. I'd love to see
Nate Diaz could teach him a lesson. Nate Diaz is a fantastic boxer. And I mean, he was eating those left hands. I remember during that first Conor McGregor Nate Diaz fight, Conor McGregor banged him with that left that dropped Eddie Alvarez, that dropped fucking Jose Aldo, that dropped many men, Dustin Poirier before him. And Nate looked at him and went, gave him a head shake, and you saw it in Conor's face. He was like, "Oh fuck!" Like, I'm at 170. This is Nate. Like, dude, if Nate fights him, and imagine Nate putting on more weight from 170, Nate walking around $185, $190 to fight Jake Paul, he'll put him out, dude.
And what a lot of people don't keep in mind is that Nate does train boxing year round. He
all the time.
A lot of pride in his boxing. He doesn't usually use it in the octagon. It's a tool that he doesn't utilize very often, but he can box with the very best. And I think he would class Jake Paul not only in physical strength and toughness, but I think he could show him a thing or two in boxing. I think Nate Diaz outboxes Jake Paul.
Yeah, that ain't Ben Askren going in there. Ben Askren legitimately fought Jake Paul how I would fight Jake Paul, having not been at a boxing lesson outside of one since I was like 16 years old. You know what I mean? Like that's how Ben Askren looked in that fight. Like you're gonna get a completely different fighter, but I would love to see Kamaru Usman do it and Colby Covington and Masvidal be forced into that fight. Jack, I think that fight needs to happen because that's real beef. Love that beef, guys. I also want to bring up Dave Chappelle. Last thing, big Dave Chappelle fan, saw that him and Joe Rogan are going to be doing some more stand-up tours together. That's amazing in itself.
Oh,
but he has a new podcast coming, Midnight Miracle, it's going to be called. So Dave Chappelle coming into the podcast realm, you know, that podcast is going to be right up in the top 3 from episode number 1. Everything Dave Chappelle does turns to gold. He's incredible, man. So you know, I'm definitely going to check it out. Jay, are you going to check it out?
Yeah, I don't think you need to say anything more than the fact that he's just getting into the podcast world. Everyone's going to listen to it. He's one of the funniest motherfuckers that have ever stepped foot on this planet, and he loves to test the boundaries and go that path and just see the reactions, and it always works.
Every time.
Bringing it back to SNL, I thought when he went on SNL, he was fucking hilarious. I was laughing my balls off, and I can't wait for the podcast too.
Yeah, man, it's going to be great. Great to see, guys. I want to let everybody know you can catch more great content at tarpsoftsports.com. Jack, Jay, great episode, guys. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell. Make sure you hit like, and make sure you just be good to one another, man.